Hi folks, Dave Schmidt here. It's the evening of June 28th as I'm speaking to you today. Well, last week there were thousands of you that listened to the radio program, and I want to say thank you for everybody that called in. And I also know there were a lot of you that emailed me saying that you wanted to call in and you couldn't because the lines are full. I can only receive 100 phone calls max at a time, and that's how I use with Blog Talk Radio. But what I also share is all of the radio programs are available archived on my website, thesedonaconnection.com. Now, a few of you have emailed me saying, well, it's not coming up. It's not quite working. Be patient. Do a right click on it. Try a couple other things. I can't tell you why. All I know is it's worked fine for thousands, but there's a small percentage saying they can't get it to come up. Do your homework. Try other things. Clear your cookies. Use a different browser. Now, for this week, tomorrow night on the radio program, I'm going to do an extension and continue what we had talked about last week. I talked about the RV.GCR. I talked about the 3 things that have to come in before the funds are released. This week, I'm going to continue an extension on that, but I'm going to talk about those funds and the types of funds and where most of this money is coming from. There is a well-known documented case of what is called the global collateral accounts, and a lot of different people, they talk about that. These global collateral accounts, it's for real. They're documented. They're out there. Books have been written. The history on the whole issue of the global collateral accounts, how they go back to, most of it is documented from the early 1940s and how it was a part of what was called the Bretton Woods Agreement. I'm going to talk about that. It's history, because what's happening right now for the private exchanges, that's the source of most of the money that is coming forward. I do not have the liberty to go in and name names, details, and etc. like that, but I can talk about it on a broad basis. The history of these global collateral accounts, how they came into existence, where this money, this gold is, how it is backing up, collateralizing the funds being released, and what is the purpose behind all of that is taking place. Now, a lot of you also had questions about private exchanges. I'll go into a little more detail about that, and I'll explain why I believe private exchanges are the only way that you're going to get funded, and that these 800 numbers, and even today, somebody came out and said, each of these 100 trillion Zim notes is going to be worth $1 quadrillion. Please. And there's something this person is supposed to be very credible. I mean, just do the math. Just do the math, and you find how stupid and ludicrous a statement like that is. And they also say they can't tell you where their money's coming from. So I want to do that because I want to distinguish the difference of what you can do to help you make decisions of being able to have something that is somewhat reliable, something that's real, and this just isn't a big, huge scam that's going on out there. But yes, I can tell you that money is very real. I'm also going to update you on some phone calls that I've had with some of my contacts. And again, I have been invited to go back to Hong Kong, and I may be making that trip within the next month to meet with some of the elders that are there. And these are some of the primary sources of the funds as well. So also, I would encourage you, call in with your questions. I know a lot of you last week weren't able to do that. If you have questions, and you're not going to be able to listen in on the program, then send me an email with your questions, and I will go through that. I have a lot more time on the radio program because it's 2 hours that I get to spend with you, and you get to listen to me, and I get to share with you some of the things that I know and of why this stuff is unfolding, and I'll also share with you why I think it's very, very close. Yes, a couple things could block and still hold it up, but if those things don't transpire, we could see some things moving very quickly. So join me on the radio program tomorrow night. If all you're doing is listening to this or watching this YouTube video, go to thesedonaconnection.com, and that's where you find I have the greater in-depth article, and also where there's the link to the radio program. The radio program is live at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and then you can listen to it archived anytime. It takes about 2 hours for them to upload the program and get it all done. So 2 to 3 hours after the program is over is when it's archived, and you can listen to it anytime. Thanks a lot. Love all of you. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Okay, bye-bye.